Mabuga, welcome back to the Garifuna Experience Podcast. I'm your host, José Francisco Ávila. Today's episode is a special one. We're looking at a century-long journey, a journey that began with Garifuna men fleeing political persecution in Honduras and is culminating in a strategic push for the halls of power here in New York City. We call it Generations of Change, the 100-year march to Garifuna representation in New York City. For nearly 100 years, we have been a vibrant cultural pillar of this city, but for too long, we were hidden in plain sight. Today, we talk about how we move from being a hidden demographic to being a political power bloc. The first wave. To know where we're going, we have to look back at the shores of Honduras in 1932. This wasn't just a move for a better life, it was a move for survival. This first surge of Garifuna migration was a direct result of general elections held in Honduras on October 28, 1932, when the National Party of Honduras candidate Tiburcio Carillas Andino won the election. Shortly before Carillas' inauguration, dissident members of the Liberal Party had risen in revolt. Carillas crushed the uprising in short order. Many Garifuna men sought asylum in the United States. This was the beginning of the Garifuna migration to the United States. The stakes were life and death. On March 12, 1937, a firing squad executed 19 Garifuna men, forcing them to dig their own graves in front of their families. This trauma catalyzed the first major Garifuna migration. By 1941, as the U.S. entered World War II, the numbers expanded significantly. Garifuna men joined the National Maritime Union, headquartered in New York City, where they were able to find employment with other companies when necessary, establishing a professional foothold in the city. On July 10, 1946, Carib American Association, Inc. was registered to promote the spirit of friendship among its members through voluntary aid for individual advancement along the lines of industry, commerce, and social welfare. This marked the birth of the first formal Garifuna organization in New York City. They built the foundation, but they remained politically silent. They were focused on surviving. The Awakening and Jerry Castro's Lessons. Fast forward to 2007. The conversation changed. A digital spark ignited a new era. In a Google group discussion, Jerry Castro, a bright young leader, lamented a major dilemma. Despite decades of presence, there was no recognized Garifuna political representative. He was frustrated about plans to turn Ferry Point Park, the park that has given hope to many young Garifuna men by playing soccer, will soon be turned into a golf course. But without a follow-up meeting or Garifuna community input on how to deal with the hundreds of young men who play soccer every weekend, it became clear that advocacy without representation was insufficient. I told him then, as I tell our listeners now, in America, you either lead, follow, or get out of the way. He chose to lead, setting the stage for the first Garifuna-American quest for New York elected office. Now, in retrospect, that campaign was doomed by inexperience, but it was our greatest lesson with the electoral process. We learned that you can't just have ambition, you need organization. We learned that you start small, such as running for county committee or judicial delegate, which are described as the gateways to insider politics and provide practical experience navigating the electoral process. We learned that you don't start at the top, you build the ladder. Breaking the Ceiling, Rosemary Ordonez-Jenkins. Success is built on the lessons of failure. We shifted our strategy, creating the Garifuna Roundtable and identifying potential representatives for political gateways. In 2014, Rosemary Ordonez-Jenkins made history as the first person of Garifuna descent to appear on a New York ballot. By 2016, she ran for Democratic State Committee Woman for the 87th Assembly District. Though she didn't win the primary, she mobilized over 4,300 constituents. Like the legendary Shirley Chisholm, Rosemary proved that progress is made by implementing ideas rather than whispering from the sidelines. Rhode Island political strategist Tomás Alberto Ávila commented, "As I learned many years ago, politics is not always about winning or losing, but instead about stepping in the ring and making a statement, and you made a big statement for our community." The 2032 vision and the NYC votes milestone. By 2017, the city began to notice us. The Garifuna Coalition won a grant from NYC Votes to host a candidate forum for City Council District 18. In partnership with the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, Parkchester branch, we hosted a forum moderated by political commentator Dominic Carter. The following candidates were invited to participate: Michael Belzer, Isley Constantine, State Senator Ruben Diaz Sr., Amanda Farias, Elvin Garcia, Carl Lundgren, William R. Moore, and John Paris. Michael Belzer, State Senator Ruben Diaz Sr., Amanda Farias, and Elvin Garcia participated in the District 18 City Council Nonpartisan Candidates Forum on Thursday, September 7th, 2017. The purpose of the candidate forum was to give City Council 18 voters an opportunity to hear candidates discuss the issues of importance to them in this election. We were not just the ones asking for help anymore. We were the ones hosting the debate. We were the ones holding the candidates accountable. This wasn't just a meeting. It was a demonstration of our civic capacity. We were no longer just an immigrant group. We were the organizers of the democratic process itself. The initial effort for electing the first Garifuna-American political candidate was doomed by the lack of a process for teaching young Garifunas how to go from activism to electoral politics and how to navigate the electoral process. By the way, in the spring of 2024, a 500,000 square foot casino and entertainment complex within Ferry Point Park was approved. This is the same park that set the stage for the first Garifuna-American quest for a New York elected office. The complex is scheduled for completion by 2030. For nearly a century, the Garifuna community has been a vibrant cultural pillar of New York City. As we approach our 2032 centennial, we are making a critical transition, moving from hidden in plain sight to becoming a recognized, unified democratic and political power bloc. Our goal is no longer just participation. Our goal is representation. We are moving toward the 2030 Garifuna Representation Goal. We need millennials and Gen Z running for judicial delegate, for state committee, and for city council, among others. As we wrap episode 48, I want you to remember, data is just data until you organize it. Longevity in a city guarantees nothing without participation. If you're a Garifuna-American millennial or Gen Z listening to this episode, the ring is waiting for you. We have spent almost 100 years building the foundation. It's time for you to build the house. And that wraps up another illuminating episode of the Garifuna Experience Podcast. Thank you for listening. Remember, the future of the Garifuna people is in our hands. Until next time, stay united, stay proud. Sungube Lida Aba. Ayo. Find new episodes of the Garifuna Experience Podcast every Tuesday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeart Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Music, or wherever you find your favorite shows. Please rate and review the Garifuna Experience Podcast. It helps our history reach the world.